Good morning, Mr. Trucksaver, correct?
That's correct. El Trucksaver.
El Trucksaver. So, interesting guest we have today. You are a persona that we have for Trucksavers. Now, I wanted to ask you about Trucksavers. That way everyone knows what Trucksavers is. We've seen the name, we've seen the van, we've seen your character, right? And we want to know more about it. What is it that you exactly do?
We started almost 20 years in Houston with a repair shop for 18-wheelers. And since the very beginning, we always thought we gotta be different. We cannot blend with so many other repair shops out there. So we started with so many different things, but very related with the industry. But one of the ideas we had is to try to help the drivers, the truck drivers. It's an industry that is kind of forgotten, or not forgotten, but maybe nobody really cares about a truck driver.
Yeah.
We see them like the worst people in the society.
Yeah, I always thought of them as the unsung heroes. The unsung heroes of the industry, because especially in the pandemic, we saw that
Exactly.
that
Everybody
what kept moving was the truck drivers.
Yeah, everybody's thinking about the doctors, the nurses, and I respect that, of course, but at the same time, who was feeding us? The truck drivers. So they were always bringing the groceries to the stores, even the vaccines, you know.
Yes, I saw that many times during the pandemic, and you hit it right in the nose. I mean, I've seen this old adage, this old sticker that I remember from back in the industry that was, trucks keep America moving. And you couldn't say that more during that pandemic when everything just stopped except for trucks.
Yeah.
You know, everyone still needed to eat, and that's super important. So
Yeah.
that's your audience, right? You're helping them out. From my understanding, is basically I've seen a lot of your short videos that you have, and I love them because again they're very unique. You brought this character to life, El Trucksaver, and you have also a sidekick. He's not with us today, but here's your sidekick. His name is
El Tuercas.
El Tuercas. Now
That's my helper.
That helper, I've seen him. I mean, the two of you, how you guys play off of each other, it's really, really neat. But what I love about your show is it's not just entertainment, but it's also educational. So you want to elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah. So as I was saying before, we want to help the truck drivers. We want to help the truck owners. We want to help the transportation industry, the trucking industry, because we believe it's vital and very important. And so what we are doing first is to share our experience with the trucks, and because we service many trucks a day and you see all kind of problems. So what we want to do is to share that knowledge, that experience, the problems we have seen with other trucks, what mistakes we are doing, so not everybody keep doing them. And I think we can help the companies and the drivers save a lot of money. Because they're wasting a lot of fuel, a lot of tires, a lot of parts, because sometimes the maintenance is not the correct one. So we are sharing a lot of tips, suggestions, what to do, how to save on these, how to improve these. And of course, not everything is savings. We're also working on their safety and our own safety, because everybody's on the road. So if we can prevent an accident, we're preventing big problems for many, many different people. So we're starting with that, but we're gonna get into some other things related with the industry, not only the maintenance, because I think there's a lot of need in, insurance, taxes, safety, many different things for health. Who's thinking on the health of the truck drivers? Nobody. So we're thinking on that. So we wanna help talking to experts on those subjects. And I think there's a lot of knowledge to share.
Not only just, when you say health, you're talking about not just dietary, but you're also thinking mental as well, and also physical, because obviously driving does take its toll on you,
Yeah.
especially those long range ones. So that's very interesting that you guys are focusing on. Like we mentioned earlier, I think the drivers are definitely the unsung heroes when it comes to America. Really, they just are. Right now, you mentioned something about preventive maintenance, right? And that's pretty much key to obviously preventing things happening. What's the most common thing that you see that people neglect? I've seen people where it's like air in the tires that helps your brakes and little things like that. But what's the one that you can say that the most cost effective and easiest to do to prevent the biggest mistakes?
I would say inspect the truck every day. The other day I was posting a video that says, hey, why don't you go and check the oil level of your engine every day? And a lot of people was hitting me because, oh no, that's too much every day, whatever. And I said, well, how much is an engine? $20,000-$30,000?
Yeah.
Why don't we just take care of it? You know, if there's a problem, you can catch it very early, and maybe you can save the engine instead of overhauling it, and you save a lot of money. So in that pre-trip inspection, you can do many things, not only the levels. You can check, of course, the air pressure of your tires. How much is a tire for a truck? $400, $500, $600. What if it was flat and you didn't catch it and you just run it like that? You're gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's something little and we can fix it. So I think sometimes we get lazy and we don't want to check the truck because we are tired. And I understand. If you're thinking a driver, just think if you have to make a trip to New York City tomorrow, would you drive there? No, it's a long way. Okay, these guys do it like every day for a living.
Yeah.
So can you imagine how many hours are they in the steering wheel and seated and not talking to anybody, not seeing anybody? It's a very hard job and demanding. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So I understand that sometimes we are tired, but still it's affecting us not to do that extra little work.
And apart from the cost of the engine, the cost of not working, that's also something that people neglect as well, I'm thinking. I mean, people just think, well, I'll buy a new one or whatever, but at the same time, hey, during that time, you're not working either. Your truck's not working, you're not driving, so...
The only time that a truck makes money is when it's running.
Exactly. I have to agree with that. So I want to kind of switch gears a little bit. You created this show, right, the Trucksaver show that you have, and you've gotten mass audience that it kind of blew up, and I was talking to you off camera, and you were kind of telling me that you kind of been doing it before, but once you guys created this persona that you guys started doing, basically you just took off, right? And I'm not sure if you want to tell me a little more about that. I know right now on TikTok you have around how many followers right now that you have?
Close to 20,000.
20,000 followers, but that's not the amazing part. The amazing part is the time frame. So the time frame, how long did it take you to get those 20,000 followers?
Less than 3 months.
3 months, that is amazing. And it's all because of, I mean, what would you do?
I think it's a mix. Well, one of the things that we notice is that internet, social media, even the billboards, the streets, everybody is loaded with advertisement, right? So there's a lot of advertisement everywhere. Who wants to see a commercial ad when you're watching your game on TV? Nobody. You want to watch the game, not the ads. So we don't really pay attention to the ads. So sometimes if you're watching a football game and you have the commercial break, you go to a restroom, you go and get something or whatever because you don't want to see any ad. Right? So the same happen, I think, in social media. The same happen when you're watching a video on YouTube and you have some ads annoying. You kind of hate them, and you're just waiting for the button to turn to skip the ad.
Yes,
click it so you can go. So nobody wants to really watch any ads. So we have been thinking so much for years. Okay, how can I advertise my business without annoying anybody? It's hard. So we decided not to advertise it. Let's just try to help. So I think the key for success in this new story is, you get everybody attention because there's a clown, if you want to call it like that, with a mask, but this guy is trying to help you.
Yeah.
And I don't think in 100 different videos we have posted so far that we have a shop, come to my shop.
Wow. So it's
just let me help.
Yeah.
And the funny part is that we have been getting customers that come to the shop or ask us, where are you located? I want you to check my truck.
Right.
Because you're helping me so much that now I trust you.
Exactly. You're building that trust and that rapport with the clients because you're giving them so much value, right?
Yes.
And that's something that we see time and time again in this day and age in social media, especially, that you have to give value. You can't be. People don't want to be sold. People want to be learn or taught something else, or entertained in this case. And in your case, you're doing a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, because that I think is like you said, key to your success and why you've gotten so much attention in the last couple of months. And again, and it's not attention. I'm not trying to be funny or anything, because you're even though there is some comedy in your skits, at the end of the day, this persona that you guys have is still professional. You know, and more than anything, it grabs their attention, right? And that's what you want, their attention, so that you can explain to them, this is what happens when you don't do X.
And it's very rewarding, because you got, of course, there's always a hater, because you're not gonna be like a goal to be nice or to be liked by everybody.
Yeah. Haters are everywhere, guys.
Yeah, but sometimes we even need those haters, because they leave you comments, and that make you more viral. If you have comments, either
true.
good or bad, the
algorithm doesn't know if it's good or bad.
It doesn't know. So, which is good. But you have a lot of good comments, like, hey, keep doing great job. We like it, we love it. The other day, we got a customer, and one of our technicians were saying, hey, there's a customer that came, and he says, I'm coming here because you are doing such a great job on social media.
Wow.
I love what you're doing, and now I trust you. And he was just coming, the Trucksaver told me that I need to align my truck. And that's why he came. So he came there, and we checked the truck. Hey, you cannot really align it because you have problems. Go ahead and fix them. So he spent a couple of $1,000 fixing his truck so he can align it, because the Trucksaver told him. So at the same time, it's a big responsibility as well.
Yes.
So we have to really inform and not just saying stupid things. I mean, I think because people is trusting on us. So we have to work on that. And even the technicians, the mechanics are like, hey, there are customers coming because of what you're doing. So at the beginning, it was like, oh, it's difficult, I'm shy. I mean, it's embarrassing to be doing this kind of thing. And little by little, you start feeling like, hey, I'm doing a good job. I'm helping people everywhere, because we have followers in Spain, in Argentina, in South America, and of course all over the United States now. And so you're helping people that maybe you're not going to be able to service, because of course they're in another country.
Right.
But however, they help you, and there are people that is maybe in your own city that say, or I can travel to Houston or Midland and I can go and visit. So it expands your market
tremendously. It does.
Tremendously.
Yeah.
So the mechanics are seeing that new customers are coming because of this. They respect. They are like, hey, why don't we do this video? Now people start like, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do the other? Even customers. Why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about the other thing?
That's great feedback. I mean, it gives you more content to put out. I mean, that's awesome, listening to your audience and how you're going about it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, one of the reasons why we brought you here, obviously, is because of your persona, your brand that you have, and I want to talk to you more about, specifically about your brand, right? And the importance of the brand. Staying on brand is super, super important, and one of the reasons that you're here is because we actually did a rep for you.
Yes.
You have one of your service vehicles that you have, and it was a Sprinter van, a huge van, by the way. That thing is enormous. It's just, when it was designed and stuff, we didn't think, we measure things in feet and inches, but we don't really get to see the size of it until it shows up here. And then we're like, whoa, this thing's huge. And everyone said the same thing, this thing's enormous. And we went ahead and wrapped that for you guys. And how important do you think it is to be promoting yourself out there? Not just in social media, but other channels, how important do you see that?
Well, as you guys say, we gotta elevate our visibility.
Yes.
So we just realized that social media is helping us a lot, but there's still a lot of people that doesn't know about us, especially locally. So we're doing this bet of investing a good amount of money into wrapping a huge vehicle, as you said. And at the beginning, you are like, oh, this is expensive, this is a lot of money. But what if a couple of trucks show up just because they saw you on the road?
Exactly, yeah.
And the thing, and we noticed that when we opened the shop many years ago, we used to do like mailing, but traditional mail.
Right.
And then I remember that we were going to like truck stops, handling flyers and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes
Old school marketing, guerrilla marketing.
very old school marketing. So I remember that some drivers show up at our place like almost a year later with the flyer. Oh, you have this special for kingpins, and I just save it for the time that I need it. I don't need it when you give me the flyer, but a year later, now I need it.
Yeah.
And I understand that your special is not good, but at least I knew that you were here.
Right.
You never know. So it's very difficult also to measure when you're gonna get your money back. I mean, right now I know because, of course, we have got some customers that show up. We haven't really spent any money, but the mask maybe, I don't know, and just post every day. That's just a very huge discipline you gotta be having. But that's it. We haven't invested on Facebook ads or anything like that.
Wow,
it's just organic, right?
Amazing.
That's amazing. But what if we push it with some of the traditional ways and complement? You don't know. I mean, right now I'm gonna drive to Laredo to Houston. How many trucks are gonna see me with this huge van?
Thousands.
In the freeway.
Hundreds and thousands. And we always say this because the way we measure impressions on the truck, driving around, and this is locally, you're looking at around 10,000 impressions that you're going to be getting. So I can only imagine, like you said, you're driving from here to Houston. That's a couple hundred miles away. And you're going to see a lot of truck drivers on the way, truck stops, I mean, different things you're going to see. And they're going to see it, what is that all about? And one of the things that I know when we talked about it with you was attaching that QR code in the back so that people can easily get to where you are following. Because kind of like you said, I love what you said this because I'm a big believer of not one thing is a solution. It's going to be a combination of a lot of different things, right? So old school versus new school, social media, traditional, guerrilla marketing, all of it has its place. And using those things, what you said, it's going to help drive those other channels together. And like you said, not everyone knows about you because maybe they just haven't found you for whatever reason. But if they see you on the road and they see that big old mask and you know the big Sprinter van that you have, they're going to see it and be like, what is this about? You know, and they're definitely going to see once they say that it's a truck and trailer repair show, is pretty much what it is. Where you give maintenance tips, right? And that's going to be really, really big. So I'm really excited to see that. Overall, if you don't mind, I mean, what are your thoughts on the truck? I mean, what do you think of it?
It's great. I was going to say something else. If you go to Facebook, for example, what would you prefer to watch? Just a picture or a little video?
Video. Yeah.
What would you prefer to watch? A billboard in the street or a mobile vehicle? So when there's movement, we prefer to watch that.
Catches your eye, definitely.
So, and how much is a billboard a month? And how much is wrapping? So when you compare, actually the wrapping is way less expensive and is more effective.
I agree. We use that same key point to tell people that to us we see it as a rolling billboard. You know, it's a mobile billboard that you're going to be driving everywhere, whether you're driving to your destination or when you're at your location. People are going to be asking, "What is that?"
Yeah,
you know.
And there's no contract. If you don't like the location, you can change it.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that, but that's true.
So there are things that it's very convenient. So I mean, I love it. I'm excited. I want to get in the road. I wanna drive and hopefully people is gonna be honking like, hey, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So
we're now going to the portion of our lightning round questions. So lightning round questions are real simple. It's just I'm gonna give you a question, and you're gonna answer it really quickly without having to think about it. Ready? So number one, books or audiobooks? Books. Okay. Webinar?
Old school.
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Webinars or conferences?
Oof. Conferences.
Networking opportunities, right?
Because the thing is that you have more contact with the people. Yes. I mean, webinars are great, but we want to have contact with people.
Exactly.
And the webinar still has some kind of limitation.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
You
gotta wake up and start driving early.
Morning person or a night owl?
Night
owl?
Yes.
Really?
All the time.
That's just something myself. Yeah, you get the most work done.
There's people who says, wake up early so you can start early and be ahead of all the people. What if you stay late and however you're gonna start, you're gonna be ahead. The thing is, no matter what hours, I think, as long as you're working.